Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
Looking for something new in dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, alternative history? They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. Get the 10-volume box set with 159 stories and full-color illustrations plus 34 articles with writings and art tips. Get the UPRN discount, $125 for the entire box set. That's a $60 savings for that beautiful box set. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Go to uprntalkradio.com, click on the link, and place your order.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show, Into the Night with Sean Kelly, Tuesday night from 8:10 to 9:10, but probably be over by 9 o'clock. As you can tell that I'm a little bit under the weather right now, so please excuse my voice, and I'll be sniffling a lot, I guess. But this cold just came on like a couple days ago, and it's been like that for gangbusters with me. I did take the test, and I don't have the C word. So, so it's just a regular flu. Well, with all the freaking snow going on and how cold it gets one day and how, it just finally caught up to me. I am on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And tonight's guest, she had to cancel because she lost power and she wouldn't be able to make it on tonight. So it's just going to be me, and it's going to be like an open discussion and stuff like that. So it's all pretty cool. So how was everybody's week or since Sunday? Well, mine has just been totally sick. Not feeling pretty good, but I'm managing, I'm handling it, and a lot of people are sick. My boss, he's sick, and he's been gone for 5 days, and who knows if he'll supposed to come back tomorrow, but who knows if he will or not. So we'll see what happens. So tonight we're just going to have an open discussion about anything. Hi, Cindy Simpson. Thank you very much for the prayers. I appreciate that very much. And I'm sending prayers back to you, Cindy. Definitely sending prayers back to you. But you know what? Last week I went on an investigation, and a friend of mine, she called me up and she said, "Do you mind, coming in and helping me out with this house that she was going to?" I said, "Sure, not a problem." And come to find out, it was a client that we did a long time ago. And, the client moved and, she went into a new house and she started to see a shadow of a woman in her house. And I was pretty excited. It was like a nice little reunion here going on. And so we went there, and tell you what, I've been gone for a year now, and my friend, she got some new equipment, and I never saw this stuff before, and it was like pretty cool to see, So it kind of like rejuvenated me a little bit to saying, hey, I can do this again. I'd be happy. That would be so great. And I made up my mind that night that I am definitely going to get back into it a little bit this year. Sorry. And so we went there, and it was just it was nice to see, that there was no panic stricken face, no, nothing for her to worry about. It was definitely her grandmother, and somebody else, a couple other people, but nothing negatory, nothing negativity in it, and it felt great, you know. Um, so I think I'm going to get back into it. I'm not going to jump in like I used to, 3 or 4 days a week. But I'm just, I don't know. I just feel really excited about it. Um, so how's it? Anybody out there in the chat room right now? You want to discuss anything? Feel free to discuss it. Uh, this is like an open discussion tonight. Um, so what do you think about this weather now with the snow? Boy, did it come down hard. Oh, and by the way, before I go on, I want to congratulate the Buffalo Bills at beating the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday afternoon. Good luck to you in the future. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm really proud of you this year. So we'll see what happens next year. But man, did you see all that snow up in Buffalo? I mean, we got it tonight. I mean, this morning it was crazy. This morning, um, even though I worked at 10 o'clock in the morning, I mean, it was just coming down like gangbusters. You know what I mean? And thank God for my neighbor. I don't know that my neighbor's great because he honestly loves to shovel snow. I mean, this guy, he comes up and he'll shovel all the way up my street and all the way down. And then he will go and get his like weed blower, and he blew off all the snow that was on my car tonight, this morning. That came down, and it kind of like made me feel good, that there are still people out there that just love to do stuff and to helping people, you know. Um, I rendered his assistance. I mean, I gave him a couple bucks here and there for doing that. It's not like I'm just using them because I'm not. I paid him a little bit, and it just seemed like it felt good, to pay him. And he said, "I don't want no money. I don't want no money." And I'm like, "I can't do that, dude. You did some work, and it was very valuable to me. So, you know, here, and." He was very grateful for it. I could see it in his eyes, but all in all, it was good. Um, I just don't. It's real hard to get used to this weather. You know what I mean? Last winter, I think Pittsburgh really didn't get a snowfall at all, and it was practically warm. But I don't know. This year it might be something different. Who knows what's going on? So, so that's it with the snow business. My son's doing okay. He's doing pretty good out there in Indianapolis. But he's kind of like caught on to the paranormal investigation, and that's another reason why I want to like kind of get into it again. And it's not to investigate with him. Now you have to remember now, my son, he's a scientist. Okay, he's a microbiologist, and he don't believe he don't believe in spirits. He don't believe in ghosts. And but he read that there's a couple places in Indiana that are haunted, and he happened to send me a message and telling me about them. And I told him, I said, well, when it gets warmer out, I'll definitely take a ride out there, and then me and him can have dinner, and I'll go investigate, and that'd be it. You know. So I'm kind of like looking forward to that. Going to different states this time. I keep telling everybody I got what? So I'm 61. I'll be 62 this year. So actually, I got about 5 more years of retirement till retirement, and I seriously cannot wait because I am going to be traveling. I am going to be, you know, either turn trade my truck in for a camper van or just buy a little RV, little pop up thing, and just go. Um, I just want to, see the United States. I want to go to different places. Like one of my places I do want to go, it's like on my bucket list would be like out there in them ghost towns out there out west. I think that would be pretty sweet to go. Up into the Badlands, up in South Dakota, North Dakota, stuff like that. I do want to do some traveling and stuff like that. I'm going to try to avoid the South a lot. Cindy Simpson says, "That's great having a neighbor like you have." Well, that sounds like a great time with your son. Yeah, it is. It is. I was just surprised, Cindy, that he actually sent the stuff to me. I thought it was like really, really cool. But to be honest with you, Cindy, I don't think he'll go with me. I guarantee you he won't. But for him to take that first step and acknowledge him, the paranormal stuff, excuse my sniffling, he actually acknowledging it. That thing is pretty cool. Um, so there's been a lot of places like on my show, I talk about Bigfoot and I talk about the dog man and I talk about other things. I want to remind everybody that next Tuesday night, I'll have my friend Michael Anthony on again for part 2 of the show that we did January 2nd. I'm looking forward to having him on the show again and then just talk. I mean, the guy, my friend Mike, he's just like an encyclopedia of all the good stuff. You know what I mean? And he puts stuff on Facebook that really makes you think. It's like things that make you go, seriously. But I do learn a lot from him, and I'm looking forward to having him on um, the show next Tuesday. In fact, anybody who is in the chat room, Cindy, if you have an idea, what kind of topic should I have for Sunday? This Sunday coming up, what do you think? I think, I'll let you guys choose what you want to talk about. And then you give me an idea, and then we can run with it and maybe get you on the show and stuff like that. But last week, I did talk about how I felt in certain situations about the situation that I was in, and what I meant and what I meant was that yes, that's how I felt, and that's how I felt what I spoke about. But I want to say that I did not mean to take it into a voice that didn't sound right. You know what I mean? Because I thought about it and I watched the show a couple of days later and I'm thinking, boy, oh boy, I could have toned down some. You know what I mean? And I said, because I was looking at that show and I'm thinking, you know what? The way I was talking, I'm like, that ain't me. Not at all. That's not what I'm all about, you know. But I just want to say that, in the meantime, if you guys see me going off the deep end or being really vocal about something, okay, two things. First thing I want to tell you is that I'm not doing it deliberately, okay, to prove a point. And second of all, please tell me if I am going off like that. Tell me. Don't be afraid to tell me, Sean. Relax a little bit. Tell me take a chill pill and chill and stuff like that. And then I definitely will. And then I'll slow down. But I thought it was a pretty decent show. It's crazy now. The old Sean before, during 2023 and before, I was never like that. I was the type of person that would actually absorb things and just keep them down deep inside me. But not 2024. It's a little different. Um, Seriously, like speaking my mind, and I'm not used to that speaking my mind. Um, because when I would do speak my mind, then I would get into a lot of trouble. But you know what? It's like I care about me now. I'm looking at me and what makes me feel good. You know, um, and so far so good. Besides my big mouth last week, um, so far I'm getting seriously thinking and getting back into the paranormal again and investigating. Um, Also want to do some like to go into the woods with somebody who knows what they're doing in the Bigfoot community. So if anybody out there is listening to the show who's really, really into the Bigfoot um, in the community and stuff like that, I would really love just to go out and just observe how you guys do an investigation out there. How you go looking for the Bigfoot or the Dogman or whatever cryptid is out there that is supposed to be out there, And same way with the people from MUFON and people who are in the UFO communities who are listening to the show. You know what? Seriously, please get in contact with me because I would love to learn or not learn. I would like to learn, but I just want to observe how you guys do your investigations. I think that would be really, really neat to know, because right now it's like I want to expand my horizons and stuff like that on doing different things. Um, it's like whenever I go to North Carolina or Pennsylvania, Virginia to do my gold prospecting, um, and I'm in the woods by the creek, then, from what I learned from, all the cryptid hunters and Bigfoot hunters, and maybe I'll be able to see signs that are in there telling me that there is some kind of creature that's hanging out in there. So hopefully, hopefully I get the opportunity to um, do those types of investigations and just to learn. I mean, I love to learn, but here's my problem with me is like, my God, I got into the paranormal field and it was like 3 or 4 a week. And I just went, man, because once when I start something, boy, do I go, and I don't stop. I had to take a little break on my gold prospecting, and in the same way, I saw it on YouTube one time, and I said I want to do that, and I started, and a lot of money later, I'm still doing it. But you know what? It's great, and I'll tell you why it's great for me. Because when you sit, because you can do it on your porch, and I do it on my porch. Um, is you might just have a pan of dirt, okay, a pan of dirt, and you just pan that dirt out, and if you see a couple gold specks or a flake or a nugget, man, I mean, this is like dancing on the moon. We're doing the Irish jig on St. Patrick's Day is exactly what it feels like, and it's not like I'm going after the leprechauns so I can get their, you know, um, their pot of gold as they claim there is, you know. But it's just that I'm just happy, I'm just happy to learn some more. I really hopefully can plan to get out there and do some more, whatever, I don't know. Cindy, do you have anything that you want to talk about? Or is there anybody in the chat room that wants to talk about anything? Please feel free to speak about it. Um, but I will tell you this, it is getting to the bottom of the hour, and I've got to take my minute and a half break. So, everybody, what I'd like you to do is, let me get there, is go and take a break, get something to drink, go to the bathroom, stuff like that. And I'll see you in about a minute and a half. Okay, everybody? Okay, here we go.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
Looking for something new in dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, alternative history? They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. Get the 10-volume box set with 159 stories and full-color illustrations plus 34 articles with writings and art tips. Get the UPRN discount, $125 for the entire box set. That's a $60 savings for that beautiful box set. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Go to uprntalkradio.com, click on the link, and place your order.
So, welcome back to the second part of Into the Night with Sean Kelly. Whoever's, I want to thank everybody who's listening all over the world. Cindy Simpson says, I'll dance with the leprechaun and you can get the gold. I like that, Cindy. Okay, you can dance and then I'll definitely split that gold with you. I promise you that. I like that idea. But I am on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And I want to thank Carnation for sponsoring my show tonight. And Carnation sponsors all my shows. So I'm very grateful for them for doing that. So we were just talking about, things like 2024 coming up, doing some observing on the UFO, investigations, cryptid investigations, and getting back into the paranormal. So I'm really, really kind of excited about doing that. But, I was thinking back today, on my very first show on Into the Night. That was a while back, like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. Are you doing the St. Patrick's Day show in March? Is St. Patrick's Day on a Tuesday? Is it? I check my calendar. If I am, my dear, of course I'm going to do one. Yeah, I am. Okay, it's a Sunday. That's good. All right, we can do one. Should I wear green? And that's a story I'm going to tell you coming up. But after I remember my very first show that I did in Into the Night, I had a friend of mine who lives in where is it, Montana, okay, and he has 2 silver mines, and it was about the Tommyknockers. I don't know if I was about the Tommyknockers, and it was pretty interesting because I read all about them, and a lot of people think they were a lore that they were brought over from the people from Cornwall, the Cornish miners that came from England over here to America. And what a Tommyknocker was like a little elf, imp, whatever. Excuse me. And what they did was they would be in the caves with the miners. And whenever there is about a going to be some kind of like mine failure, or when the mine tunnels came in, the Tommyknockers, they would start knocking on the woods to remind the miners that they need to get out, and So I asked my friend that question if he believed in the Tommy knockers, and he told me, yeah. He said there was a couple times that he was in his silver mines, and and he told me, he said I was in there one time, and all of a sudden I heard this knocking, this real loud knocking, and I went out to investigate it. And here, once when he got outside, the mine caved in on him, you know, caved in. So he was safe. He was on the outside. But that's how he um, became very informative about Tommy knockers. Even to this day, I still speak to him. And he says, I do leave them a sandwich. I do leave them some cigarettes or tobacco outside the mine for helping them, for, like a reward for helping them and stuff like that. And I think that's really cool. I'm going to try to see if I can get a hold of him, and I'm going to bring him on the show to see if he's real, if he had any more experiences with the Tommy knockers. That would be pretty cool if he did. So Cindy Simpson says, "Are you doing a St. Patrick's Day show in March?" Yes, I am, dear. I'll do one. It's a Sunday, you know. But my question is, do I have to wear green? Huh? Do I have to wear green? But, I got that DNA test done from Ancestry. And I come to find out that my mom, she's 100% Irish. But I'm only 89. I'm 89% Irish. And, but my people come from Ireland. But I had an uncle that was Polish, so I'm part Polish too. But it just seems like every time they update it, I'm more Irish or less Irish or whatever. You really can't tell. But about the ancestry DNA and stuff like that, that's for another show. Another show on that. Maybe I can get Mike on that. Or somebody with who knows a little bit more about why it's not a good thing to do. But it was very, very interesting. Okay, Cindy says I have to wear green. Okay, hon, I will definitely wear green for you. Okay, I will definitely wear green. I don't know yet, but I'll find something green. But I'm not going to put the buttons "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" or what is it, or "I love Irish people," or you know. But St. Patrick's Day has an interesting history about it. You know, um, they did celebrate it over in Ireland and stuff like that. And then they brought it over here to the United States. Now, like the three biggest places that they started with the St. Patrick's Day parades was, I do believe it was in Boston or New York, but it just seems like around that time, Boston, New York, and Pittsburgh are like the three main Irish hubs. Besides, and believe it or not, Illinois too. Illinois has a lot of Irish too. But Sebastian Morian, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, and also come to find out, because I watch the Barnwood Builders on TV, and every now and then, and I really enjoyed the music that they had, on the show. And you know what? I come to find out that a lot of the Irish, Scottish people are living in the Appalachian Mountains. You know, their music is exactly the type of music I like. You know, and I didn't know that. So there's a lot of people from Ireland that live in the Appalachians. And speaking of the Appalachians, I'm trying to find somebody who, you know about the different cryptids and the different things that go on in those mountains. For some, it just fascinates me. I read up on it, and I read up on the cryptids that are there, and It's just a lot of really, really interesting folklore. It's very interesting history about it. I know for a fact that there's a lot of witches that are there. Hello, Virginia. Good to see you. Good to see you, Virginia. And I know there's a lot of witches that hang out in the Appalachians. But you know what was really cool about these witches is that they did home remedies and stuff. You know, they did home remedies, and they were there to help people. You know, not to put no curse on them and this and that. And good to see you too, Virginia. Um, but you know, they were there to help people. They used the land, they used the flowers, they used the trees, um, in order to make antidotes to help heal people. You know, because you got to remember at the time that they were over, okay, there really wasn't no doctors, or they probably didn't have no transportation to get to see a doctor. And it's like they had to come up with their own thing. So people called them witches up there. And you know what? That's okay. You know, I have a lot of friends who are witches, and some do paranormal investigating. And, you know, they're fun to be around, and they take their stuff really, really seriously, you know. Now, I'll be honest with you, when they start casting spells, I have a problem about people casting spells. And I know it's part of their religion and it's part of their identity, but, you know, it's just interesting. I kind of like stay away from that kind of things. Uh, Cindy Simpson says Dave Spinks would be an interesting person to have on your show. Let me write that boy's name down, Cindy. Dave Spinks. Okay, let me mark that down. Thank you very much for that update there, buddy. So I'm writing it down now. But yeah, thank you for that. And I will look him up after the show and see where I can go from there. But yeah, why not? Now, what really made me fall in love with the Appalachian Mountains was I would go to North Carolina and do my gold prospecting down there, and I would pass right through them, and there's just like this feeling of peace, you know, really, really, really a peace of mind when I drive through there. Now I'll pull over on the side of the road and get out and maybe walk about 10 yards into the woods, but I don't know. It just feels like that I'm in peace there. You know, anywhere in Virginia. Virginia says I'm never worried about spells because of my faith is so high. That's cool. That's cool. As long as you have faith, as long as you have something that you believe in, then that you know that it's going to protect you, you're going to be fine. That's the way I look at it. It's not, you know. Well, the people who just came in, I am under the weather. I got a real nasty cold. It happened a couple days ago. It just came on like gangbusters, and I know my voice doesn't sound pretty good, and my nose is as red as Rudolph's. You know, so just bear with me. You know, and we can get through this day. We can get through the show. Um, is there anybody out there else that would like to bring up a comment? Anybody out there? Okay, now back to Cindy's. Thank you. Thank you. I hope so too. You know. Um, but, you know, Cindy is saying that I had to wear green. Let me share a little story with you on that. I did a lot of investigations on, and this is a true investigation story. So my group did an investigation. It's like about 10, 12 years ago. And it was on St. Patrick's Day. It was funny. Everybody in my group, they had some type of green on. You know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, I didn't. Not me. And the first thing that came out of their mouths was, well, why aren't you wearing your green? You're Irish. You're on St. Patrick's Day. I said, because I know I'm Irish. So why do I need to wear the green? So someone gave me a little shamrock lapel to put on, and I did that for them to make them happy. But doing this investigation on St. Patrick's Day, we were out in a cemetery, and it was like so cool and so creepy too. I do believe that the cemetery was down there on Route 51. Um, it has a chapel in the middle of it, and me and my friend were in that chapel while everybody else was out, taking photographs of of the cemeteries, trying to find the ghosts, doing the EVPs and stuff like that. Me and her were in this it's called Quaker Cemetery. Quaker Cemetery is what it's called, you know, in Periopolis, PA. But we're in there, and I wasn't feeling so lucky about the Irish, and what I mean by that is we weren't getting crap. Nobody got crap that night, really. But we were in this chapel, and here it was done by. It was owned by Quakers. The Quakers owned that building a long time ago. You know what I mean? And so all of a sudden we're standing there, and all of a sudden we're starting to see these little lights dance around, little pixies and stuff like that. We're like, whoa, what the hell is that? And honest to God, I thought they were fairies. I thought they were fays, just bouncing around. I mean, you'd have to believe it to see it. You know what I mean? At Quaker Cemetery, um, and but this building, this chapel that was in there, there was a really mean entity in there, and I mean, this guy was big, and he was all black. There was no shadow. This guy, you could just tell, was a spirit, and a bad one. And so at the time, I had people who wanted to call out the spirits. And I decided to mess with this dude. And I'm going to tell you what, quote unquote, this is definitely a true story. So after the investigation, we pull out, right? Now you got to remember, this is on a dirt country road. So you could tell if people were coming or going, right? And so we pull out a Quaker, and all of a sudden, a group member, he got a flat tire. He got a flat tire, and he pulled over. And as God is my witness on this, right? He looked at the tire, got underneath it, and on the inside of the tire, the rubber, I guess, whatever you want to call it, inside the rubber, there was a slit mark about 4 inches long. It was a straight cut. And no one was on the road. No one was near our cars, nothing. I mean, but he got that, he got that flat, that slice in his tire. That was terrible, man. And I looked at him and I said, "You're the dumbass." And he goes, "Why?" He called me a dumbass. I said, "Because you instigated it." Yeah, it is spooky. I mean, another ghost that used to hang out in that Quaker cemetery was a lady in red. She always wore a red dress. Hey, Tony Sabellos, good to see you, pal. Welcome. Thank you coming to the show. But like I said, back in Quaker, there was a lady that was supposed to be in a red dress. And we searched all over for this lady in the red dress, but we could not find her. And all of a sudden, out of not my eye, but out of the corner of my my investigator, they saw the lady who was dressed in a red, who had a red dress on. She didn't get no pictures or no confirmation on it, but it just it was fascinating because I truly believe. No, buddy, you didn't. Candy had the call. She called today, buddy. She called it because she lost her power and she couldn't be on tonight. So this is just like an open discussion. That's all. But thank you for popping in, though. I am going to reschedule her, though. I'll get a hold of her sometime this week and see what's going on. Um, but there was also a cemetery up here in Monroe, our very very first cemetery that we did, and it's called Restland, Restland, Restland Cemetery. And the story behind that, there's a ghost, a lady ghost that walks around that cemetery, and her name is Walking Rosie. Okay. So the backstory on Walking Rosie was there was a long time ago, there was a bunch of kids that were drunk and they went into that cemetery. Well, they found Rosie's headstone and they picked it up and they threw it over the side of the over the hill, on the side of the hill. And after that happened, a lot of people have experienced a lot of seeing a lady in white searching all over the cemetery looking for her headstone, you know. And so that was the first thing that we did when we went out there. And you could see her pop up here, you could see her pop up there. There was no way that you were going to get a picture of her because she would pop up like over here and then behind us and down the road. But she definitely exists, Walking Rosie. And since starting out being a paranormal group when we started back up in 2006 when I started it, that was really the only cemetery that I could actually get into because I really didn't know other places to go to, you know. But Walking Rosie exists. And we caught a lot of other things too. They have a real pretty section where they have the military people. And I do believe that somebody caught on their EVPs a trumpet blowing. So we really could not, prove if it was a good one or if it was a bad one. But it was good. You just heard this trumpet going on. So we had some good investigations. Um, and then the last one, everybody knows that I do talk about Blue Mist Road. And Tony, honest to God, if you're still in the room, dude, Blue Mist Road is like your forest. Okay. Um, you just park at the top and then you start walking this road. And the deeper that you get into it, the more creepier it gets. Um, at one point in time, before it was called North Park, it was a big farmland. It was owned by a farmer. And at that time, believe it or not, they had the Ku Klux Klan up in this area. So there was a lot of hangings. Okay. And after the hangings, then there was a lot of witchcraft that was going on down there. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Virginia. It's not called a desecrate. Nope, not at all. It's not good. And, but going down the Blue Mist, and you just walk and you just hit this part of the road where it just gets totally, totally dark. And you do hear strange noises. If you do use your equipment, it does work. You pick up good EVPs. You pick up good, mist. You got some good orbs, and sometimes a lot of shadows. Yeah. But we know where the hanging tree is now. and it's called the Hanging Tree on there. And we did like EVP sessions around that tree, and we got some blood curdling noises, screams. It was terrible. It was really terrible. But those were like the two main ones that when we started off was Blue Miss Road and Wrestland Cemetery. You know, and if it wasn't for those two places that we always went to, okay, I wouldn't be here today talking to you about it. So so like basically came around full circle on that. Um, how about you guys, Virginia, Tony? I know about Tony, Sebastian. How's the spooky stuff going around wherever you're at? You know, um, I do want to plan on going down to Atlanta, Georgia this year. Um, and then my friend Joe, who is the owner of this platform that I'm on, uh, he lives in Mississippi, and there's a lot of Civil War stuff down there, um, and in New Orleans too. Those would be like the coolest places to go and investigate. But it's kind of crazy because with working all the time, you really don't get the opportunity to do things. You know what I mean? And I did promise Tony that I would definitely try to make it to Texas. Excuse me. But so we're getting, let's see, time, yeah, 8:56. And there is another show. Virginia says, I'll be ready by spring, summer to go to different hotspots. Cool. Cool. Um, but since, we have some time today, I'm going to draw some cards for people if you would like. Um, I'm saying a lot, and I'm sorry, but I'm just not feeling good today. So I'm going to draw the 3 cards, and then we'll go from there. I can shuffle them and cut them. The first card I pulled up was a frog. That's your past. And don't forget, whoever's new and watching this, the frog. Um, what you need to do after the show's over with is go Google frog and the totem meeting, and that is your past. Ooh, the now card, which you're living in right now, is the whale. I think the whale is considered the librarian of all animals because it holds all kinds of information. Might want to double check on that, but the whale's your second card, the now card. And the future one is the opossum. So you got the frog, and you got the whale, and now you got the opossum. And you know what? I'm going to draw one more card for you guys. For shits and giggles, and see maybe, we can use that as like a trump card, or, maybe do a 4-card spread. But the 4th card's the bat. Mm-hmm. So those are yours. You got the frog, the whale, the opossum, and the bat. Just look those up after the show and just see if those animals are somehow being part of your life today at this very moment. If I can't find a topic to do on Sundays, I'm just going to hold a meditation. I'm going to do a meditation on here, and I've done them before. And since it's Sunday, then it's going to be a relaxing, and it helps you find your animals. I really wish I had the time to get into more of the animal magic spirits and stuff like that. I really do. There's a lot more, but it just seems like I am so damn tired all the time, especially with all the work that I do. But I am still looking for somebody who knows how to deal, and who knows to understand the working with animals and what they pertain to us in our everyday lives. I'll tell you what, it was a good show tonight. I know there's another show right after me at 9:10. I really have, in fact, being lazy that I am, I really don't know the name of this show. But if you're wanting to stick around on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, feel free, because there's another show coming up. And if my show doesn't agree with you, okay, and if there's something that you never got out of, then we have other shows. I mean, we got shows going on from Monday through Sunday, okay. And if you come on this channel, you'll see that there are different types of shows. It's not all about the paranormal, and it's not all about the Bigfoot. I know that the Horsefly Chronicles, they have a good show. They're on Mondays. Lorelei Potvin, the Angel, yeah, hers is on Monday too. And then you got Joe's on Friday night. Something we do the news. I'm a co-host on that. And then you got the Outer Realm with Michelle, and I forget the other one. They're just going to kill me. I'm just not, like I said, my mind's kind of goofy tonight. But please, just, on your phone, just do a UPRN Talk Radio and search. And then if you're wanting to listen to a very good show, pop on any time of the day or night, because they do have, hey, Amanda, good to see you. I'm sorry I'm glad you didn't forget, but I'm glad you made it. Virginia says, good show, Sean. Hope you get well soon. Have a good night. You too, Virginia. Thank you very much. So, children, if you can, please go to your mom and dad and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Okay? And if you don't have no children, if you have no parents, find a friend. Give them a hug and tell them that you love them. Now, to them, they might think it's a little weird, but maybe you can explain to them why you did it. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, if there's anything else that people want to talk about, speak or forever hold your peace. So I'm just giving you 30 seconds, and that's okay. So on that note, my friends, good night, happy hunting, and see you Sunday. God bless you too, Amanda. God bless you too. God bless everyone. You're in my prayers. Good night.